And we are live with a new movie review today. How are you, Matt?
Oh, I'm a bit tired, but I'm okay and happy to be here to talk with you about cinema. It's always fun to do. So let's start it.
Amazing. Thank you very much for joining me. What about you, Superbald? How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm coming to you live from my automobile in my mobile studio. Sorry, I had
Hey,
some important stuff I needed to do today that I couldn't put off. But I will be rejoining from home soonish. But I'm doing well, thank you.
That's amazing, and thank you for your dedication. I like that. That's amazing. What about you, Gray? How are you today?
I'm doing good, but apparently behind the times. I do not have a mobile studio. I need to get in on this action. It just shows that I've been sleeping on the fact that I could be doing stuff while streaming.
Well, it's my
So
car's
hell yeah.
Bluetooth and my cell phone. It's not much of a studio.
I don't even have that though. I've got a cell phone. That's about the closest. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. But how are you, Multi? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and that's the best day of the week. That's my favorite day on the week, the day of the podcast. And with that being said, I think it is the time for this.
Not funny. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Not funny.
Okay, well, this time around, I'm the one that chose if. And behind the scene, I saw the TV Globe because a lot of people in our circle, including Cole and some people in the Joker corner, they were like, "Oh, you should watch." I saw the TV Globe, and I was like, you know what? That sounds like an interesting movie, and that's why I recommended Drain to watch that movie as well. Well, actually, you had seen it before, and now we talk about If because that's another movie that's kind of similar because both movie talk about growing up. Growing up. Both movie talk about that. So I guess that's why we talk about If because If was chosen. If won. Ryan Reynolds won. That's like his second big movie this year, I believe. Did he do any other movie? I'm wondering.
I
Matt,
mean, he
great.
didn't have to, but what are you considering a big movie? I don't think anyone would argue about Deadpool Wolverine, but this one, I don't know, man.
Maybe it flopped. I actually don't know the numbers about that
It
one,
was
but
like 51% positive, 49% negative when it first came out. The critic scores.
okay. Okay, maybe I overhype it a bit too much because I liked it. I don't know. Um
Yeah, right, and then I'll do just two movies this year: the If and Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So yeah,
that's kind of what I thought. So I wasn't too far. So I recommended If because first I wanted to see it, and second, Ryan Reynolds is entertaining. So I think that's more than enough to make up for choosing that movie. So I will let someone start. I don't know. Maybe Matt. Matt, you can start. What did you
yeah,
think of If?
yeah. So overall, I think is a good movie. It's not a great ni bad
Or
movie or bad movie, but for me, it's a good movie for family, for kid. It's about growing, like you say. The kid we follow, Bea, played by Kelly Fleming, is very great. I don't know these actors before, but in this movie, I feel she gave us many emotion, and I feel it's very good to follow. And this duo with the Ryan Reynolds work pretty great, and the casting of this movie is phenomenal. So many people give the awards for many imaginary friends we follow, like Steve Carell, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Emily Blunt, Aquafina, Bradley Cooper, George Clooney, Matt Damon, Bill Hader, and a few other big name, Blake Lively, John Krasinski. This is a big casting for this movie, but the concept is very interesting. It's interesting to follow, but the story in himself feel like he missed some thing to be very to be memorable. It's okay for family, but in the end, when the movie is concluded, I feel like I missed something to be very feel many emotion in the end. But overall, I think is a movie is need to be viewed by family. Like I say, the concept is pretty unique, pretty working great, and John Krasinski is a good director. He started directing movie in past few year, and he does a horror movie before, Quiet Place 1 and Quiet Place 2. I like this movie, and for this time he changed the register of the movie. Now it's a family movie. Little bit seriously, because the story is kind of sad by a moment. The Bea girl we follow, she grieving about this mother. Then after, she grieving about this father. So the movie have many emotion in itself. Yeah, overall, I think is good. Is a feel right movie. But not extraordinary. I feel like I say, something missing. I'm not sure what is missing, but something missing in this movie to be memorable. So yeah, but yeah, it's my opinion about this movie. And this movie give me to have, after I see the movie, I want to see more movie about John Krasinski. He's a unique. He create unique concept for this movie, and each time his work not as great each time, but his work for what it is. And I hope to see more movie about him in the future. So yeah, but for Ryan Reynolds, I want to finish like for this with Ryan Reynolds. He's the main cast in this movie, and but he just do what Reynolds do the best. He's a funny character with a good charisma, and some moment you have a little emotion in it, but it's not the best work is done in past few few year. Sorry, but it's fun to see Renault on the movie, and yeah, this is okay for me. It's okay movie. And you, Multi, why you think this movie is so great?
Well, to start off, I didn't add that many issues. I only had two issues. I think the pacing wasn't that great. The mini interviews lasted for too long, only to add more jokes and runtime. The other issue I had was some of the humor didn't land. Brian Reynolds' humor in the sequence with too many interviews. So I think that's really that part of the movie that was the biggest gripe I had with it. But outside of that, I thought the characters were likable and entertaining. I think the movie was solid. I wasn't bored, and the second time around, I liked it as much as the first time. And
You've
yeah,
got to be kidding me, man. You're giving this credit for characterization, but you trashed Tremors last week for not memorable characters. Name me any of the ifs. Just names.
I remember their voice, their
But
design.
were they great characters? What did they do?
Great. Okay, you love Tremor, but for me and for Multi, it's not the best movie of time. It's an okay movie, but Tremor,
Man, the
is a
first 10 minutes of that, though, nothing but characterization. You know exactly who every character is. The first 10 minutes of this are boring as hell.
I give you that
Rest in
the
peace.
character in this movie is not the like I changed my word in English, consistent character. But it's okay for this movie. It's not a big movie, It is a movie about emotion, about growing up. It's about the message he give us in the end. It's not about the character himself, other than Bia in this journey to grieving. But yeah. But I understand why you upset
I'm
the
not upset. I just find the standard that Multi is using to be not exactly the same for every movie. But yeah, I understand what the goal was supposed to be. Just for me, it doesn't feel like they hit it.
not in it for me either, but I feel a good emotion, so I think it's a good movie for that. But yeah, I understand, Gray, I understand.
Um, but I was entertained by If, and I liked it. Maybe it's because it's more recent. I think I have recent bias. If the movie is older than me, like Tremors, I don't know. I will struggle. But if is younger than me, so it works well. I think by I
Disagree.
like.
I
What
don't
did you
want to
say,
say they
Jay?
think they say that's great, but you like Godfather 3, and it's an older movie than you, so yeah.
Yeah, you're right, and I like most of the James Bond. So maybe it's just Tremors. I don't know, and other classics. I don't know. Um, but I think by highlighting the lead is 12, they are showing that the girl grew up without the grandma realizing it. Um, that's something that happens a lot with old people. They don't realize how old you are. Um, because of her upbringing, the lead felt jaded since she told her dad not everything needs to be fun. And at the end of the movie, I think she gets back that joyfulness she kind of lost early in the movie. Maybe I tried to give too much credit to that movie. I don't know. But again, I was entertained. Um, cool music and cool story about growing up. The dad was also very likable. Um,
John Krasinski, John Krasinski is very charisma, so yeah.
and the invisible if was kind of cool. It was a funny one. Um, so yeah, overall the movie I was just hooked, and despite the heavy reliance on CGI, the movie still looked good. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Um, so yeah, I unfortunately I don't have a lot more to say about If. And again, I thought that movie was solid, and I will let Gray tear it apart because maybe I'm crazy.
A little bit. Fair enough. I guess let me sum up my, I guess, review of this film that is 2 letters in the title with 2 other letters. Just okay. That's basically where I have this. But let me start by reading you this, and let me know if this sounds a little familiar. So, like a child and their beloved imaginary friend Blue are able to stay together in an orphanage of sorts for imaginary friends that children have outgrown to be adopted by other children. Do you think I'm talking about this film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm talking about a Cartoon Network show that ran from 2004 to 2009. Now, I understand that's before your time, Multi. So maybe
Actually,
you didn't
no,
know
I
about it.
was a child by that time, but
But yeah, it's
I don't have the
Foster's
same.
Home for Imaginary Friends is the name of this show. It's
Oh,
literally the
I remember
plot of
seeing
this
it.
movie. And the main character, the main imaginary friend, is named Blue. Now it's spelled Bloo instead of Blue, like the character in this. But man, hey, can you here, I'm gonna share something really quick.
I remember seeing that thing actually. I was like 10 years old because we always get stuff later than you guys.
Can I get you to share that image? So this
Yeah,
is
I've
like a
seen that
screenshot
thing.
from it. But
Yeah.
they've got a giant purple imaginary friend. They've got like a clown imaginary friend. They've got a super tall imaginary friend. Just a bunch of them that are very whimsical. And then there's also
I
so the
remember
kid is in
that.
the middle, and the blue one next to it is Blue. So it's kind of like they combined Blue with that purple one behind it to make the Blue for this film. But he also has his grandma, which is the character just 1 to the right of Blue. Just there's so much about this that just it. I don't know if this dude is going to sue Krasinski or if he did or if he has a chance to, but man, the entire plot is just so similar to that. And then not only that, but this is like 3 different movies in one. And they just abandon this. Okay, well, we're going to take these imaginary friends and give them to these other kids. They just abandon that so quickly. And then, sorry, I guess I can stop sharing this. Just that's the thing. Like, it feels like it's very derivative from this. And then there's a certain twist that they do at the end, which is really like, I don't know if you want to call it like telescoped or telegraphed, but man, you can see it coming from a mile away. And then that feels derivative. It feels like that's exactly like, you know, another very famous film that may have been the downfall of a very famous director who does twists all the time. And just the way that every single interaction with Ryan Reynolds, like, people around him just happen to be wearing headphones. For some reason, they just happen to be looking the other way when this girl is talking to him. Just, man, it doesn't hold up on like a second viewing. So I did watch this like 8 months ago or whatever when it was released. I did rewatch it. I think it was last night. But man, so there are some positives. So Kaylee Fleming, who plays B, she is awesome. Her back must hurt because she is carrying this whole film. It really sucks. It's a lot of just everything put on her, and she does great for a child actor. She is the actress who plays grown-up Judith Grimes or whatever, an aged-up Judith Grimes in Walking Dead. So she plays the baby eventually. But yeah, she really does go through all of these emotions, and I really do believe it. Same thing with the grandma character, Fiona Shaw. She really does kind of embody that like caring, but really, I don't know, unsure of what to do type grandma character. She reminds me a lot of one of my grandmothers, and then just, man, when she's able to actually like shift back into that dance, just, man, that it does pull at my heartstrings for sure. I don't think I'm emotionally dead, but this did not affect me the way that it affected a lot of people. They were saying that like this is just like Waterworks nonstop, and I don't know, it's really gunning for it hard. The music, so I'm forgetting the. Unfortunately, I'm forgetting the composer's name.
Michael Giacchino.
Thank you. He keeps getting put forward as like kind of the next John Williams, and fair enough. To me, this score, it feels like it's really trying to make each scene emotional, and then it just feels like there's so much music in this one. It feels a little John Williams ripoff to me. That being said, like I wouldn't say it's a bad score. It just, like everything else in this, it feels somewhat derivative to me. It doesn't feel like it's innovative or something new. And then there's a whole lot of other ones that are kind of similar to this whole thing. You know, there is kind of the whole like Harvey thing, which is an amazing film long before Maltese time, so he would know nothing about it. But it is a story of a man with his imaginary friend Rabbit. It's awesome. That's a really fun movie that's been turned into a play, or play that was turned into that movie. I can't remember which came first, but I've seen both the movie and the play version of it. That thing's awesome. It's very reminiscent of this. And one of the characters in the movie is actually watching Harvey on TV in the background, which is, kind of awesome. It's a fun little shout out. And then I believe it's Ryan Reynolds' character happens to be named Cal, which could be short for Calvin. When she's digging through the closet, you see Calvin and Hobbes, where Hobbes is an imaginary tiger, this, imaginary best friend, if you will. It does feel like this is kind of a nod to Calvin and Hobbes in a way as well. But I guess Krasinski, who has been friends with Ryan Reynolds on and off for like, not off, but they've known each other for like 15 years and have always wanted to work together. So this is the thing that they finally decided to kind of do. And I don't know, there's some fun ideas in here, but it just feels like they're borrowing from so much. But if I was to say the cast to this, like, okay, there's a movie. It has Emily Blunt, George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Matt Damon, Bill Hader, Richard Jenkins, Christopher Maloney, Sam Rockwell. You'd think this thing is like just an amazing, over the top, and it's kind of a shame because they're just all these amazing actors who came in to kind of steal the part from some really fun voice actors, and instead they're just doing their own voice. Like there's about 3 of them that actually kind of put on a voice. Everybody else is just like, oh, that's that celebrity's voice. I kind of hate that, including Aquafina, which again, it's another animated one. So of course we need to have Aquafina's voice in there because it's the most amazing voice. She happens to play Bubble in this one. This is the least annoying that I've heard her. The Little Mermaid one was really bad for me. But yeah, it feels like there's so many people that just get thrown into this. And then Lewis, the elderly teddy bear, is played by Louis Gossett Jr., and this may be his last role, I believe. I don't know. I think it's a really cool performance, and it feels like it's this awesome kind of elderly teddy bear that is kind of explaining what's going on at this home. But even in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, like there was kind of this older one that really kind of showed them the ropes, that showed the same type of deal. I feel like I've seen this character so many different times. I wish there was some chance for these characters to, pare it down. Maybe we don't need 30 different voices here. Maybe we could actually flesh out a couple of them. Instead, we kind of get some of Blue where, we meet, what's his name? Bobby Moynihan. And we get to see him as Jeremy, the guy who used to have croissants with Blue. That's kind of a magical moment. I do like it once it changes to a completely different plot. And now, okay, we're just going to pair up the ifs with their original person, and they'll just give them like confidence or give them that kind of feeling that they had, this kind of golden moment. That's awesome. And it ends up giving Jeremy the confidence to go into that supposed meeting. I don't know exactly what that was, but some sort of interview thing. So, I mean, that's fun. And then it's really amazing when we see the grandmother with, what's her name? B? I can't, no, not B. Whatever the butterfly one is. Yeah. Blossom, sorry. The rubber hose style butterfly. Yeah, I really liked both of those. That seemed really amazing. Then there's, of course, the montage where they're trying to meet everyone up. I don't know. That part seemed to really work for me. I just wish they had foregone the whole, we're going to pair them up with new people. And instead, they're just plotting how they can somehow get them to remember or something like that. But I think one of the problems with this fantasy world is there's nothing fleshed out. There aren't like rules, like what is going to happen. Like, for Back to the Future or whatever, if you're back there for so long, suddenly you start to disappear. It looks like these ifs have been completely forgotten, but they didn't disappear. Like, I don't know what the stakes are if nobody remembers them or if they completely forget that. It's unclear. Like Lewis, the older bear, it doesn't seem like he has anyone that remembers him, but he's still around and he's able to like mentor the other ones. I guess I just don't know what the stakes of this world are. I wish it did a little bit more world building to kind of explain that. I think that's one thing that's missing for me. But I like it when it kind of shifts from that whole, we're going to find new kids for these. And instead it goes back to that original thing. I think it would have had slightly more impact if you know what the actual stakes are. And kind of speaking of that, it also takes me back to John Krasinski. I don't hate him in here, but man, it's an odd performance. It feels like he just wanted to kind of, I don't know, write this really fun character for himself, but it's a little unclear what exactly he's in the hospital for, and he's in there for multiple days. So it seems like it's something to do with his heart. He's got that whole like broken heartfelt thing on there, but it doesn't specifically say like has a heart attack or he needs to get blockage taken. Like it doesn't say exactly what it is. It kind of implies it's his heart. At one point he's got an IV, but it's not really plugged into him. He's just dancing with it. It's very whimsical to a point of almost unbelievability. I've heard a lot of people kind of compare this to like a live action Pixar or something along those lines. And I think that's way too generous. I think they aimed for that. They were gunning for something like a live action Pixar, but to me, it falls really short. And part of that is Krasinski's character. He's in the hospital for like 3 different days and he's never in like a hospital gown or anything like that. Like they make those stays as uncomfortable as it can be for you. They do not let you just hang around in a cardigan. At least from my limited experience in a hospital, like every single time it's be uncomfortable. You can't wear your clothes. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm knocking too much of it, but it just seems like, he's in this private room apparently for multiple days, but he's not really having this surgery. And then it's clear what the surgery is, but he's in there like 2 days before the surgery, and then he gets it, and immediately post surgery he's doing bad, but they let the kid in there and she can just go and hug him. And I'm not sure if he had like open heart surgery or if they went in through, like one of the veins. Like I know they go in through essentially your crotch a whole bunch of times to get to the vein, if they're going to get to the arteries, if they're going to like clear blockage or whatever. But I'm not sure what they're doing for him. Like, again, those stakes aren't really set up. We know that her mother somehow had an unfortunate, it looks like cancer, but again, it's not 100% stated. It's just, they're the best parents ever. They're having a great time. And then all of a sudden she is in a headscarf. So I'm assuming that means cancer. And then they went through a long, prolonged thing. Multi was saying that he thought it kind of seemed like the grandmother just didn't notice that the kid grew up. I think it's supposed to be a little bit different. I think it's supposed to be that this kid didn't have a chance to experience her childhood. Instead, she was forced to grow up due to the horrible, serious illness that her mother is undergoing, and that made her forget about the good times, forget about the imagination. Instead, she was drawn out of her childhood into the real world, and that's where Cal went. That's the way that I'm interpreting it, at least. So I don't know, that grandmother is trying to remind her, like, you are 12, you are still a kid, like you can do this. And then the second she's like, I don't do that anymore, she's like, okay, packs up the stuff, puts it away. I don't know, she seemed like a cool grandmother, although she doesn't notice that the granddaughter is just like gone all day for multiple days and is possibly hanging out with some older guy or just by her. Either way, so it's all a little unclear, but I don't know. There's parts of this movie that I really like, and then there's parts of it that just, it feels so derivative, but not like it's a better knockoff, just that it's a knockoff to me. So I'm left a little underwhelmed. I wanted a little bit more. I love Ryan Reynolds. I love John Krasinski. I want to see whatever he's going to do next. He seems to really put family forward in his films. I like that. And I guess he's trying a different genre and a different rating for this one, where he's trying to make it so that his kids could see this. I'm just not sure if kids would enjoy this. As Multi pointed out, parts of it are very slow, and it feels to me almost like there's like 3 movies kind of shoved into one, and it's very interesting. I don't know that all 3 of those movies would necessarily work for kids. It looks like the audience is more receptive to this. If I'm just looking at like the IMDb score, it gets like 6.5. On Rotten Tomatoes, the audience gives it an 87% positive review, where the critics are exactly at 50 now. When it opened, it was 51 positive, 49 negative on it. So it looks like the critics are pretty divided on it, but the audience seems to be enjoying it overall. So maybe I'm in the minority on this one, but it just, every part of it to me kind of feels a little bit derivative. And then even the stars that I usually like, their performances in this just seem a little off to me. Like even Ryan Reynolds, I know he's trying to be a little bit more subdued, but man, I've seen Ryan Reynolds do so much better in a lot of other ones. In this, he was just kind of understated. And I think a lot of that is to get that kind of reaction, that Sixth Sense type of reveal at the end. And just, I don't know, for me, it wasn't that effective. So I'm just left a little underwhelmed, but I don't hate the film. I just wanted more. I'm disappointed.
I get that feeling. So I guess now we pass on the mic to Superbald. What did you think of If?
My review is going to be pretty similar to Gray's. It's that was pretty apt what he said, that it's okay. And the word that kind of came to mind to me after I watched it was undercooked. It's like they had I think they had a really solid premise, a really good idea, but it needed more work. It's almost as if they went with like just the first draft that they wrote for this movie. And I agree that there are parts of it that are derivative. There's a lot of things in it that I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I'm like, I've seen this somewhere else before. I just can't remember where. That being said, though, I didn't think it was a bad movie. It was an okay movie, like Gray said, and it's not something I probably watch again. And I understand why some people would like it. as I've said often before, I'm a big fan of practical effects, but for a movie like this, I think CG is appropriate. And I know the CG was actually really well done in this movie, especially the blue character, his fur, everything. It looked real to me. It looked very realistic. So um, I don't hate CG, and there's times when it's appropriate, and this is it. If this movie had been made like I don't know in the '90s or something, it would have all been actors in costumes with. It probably would have looked great for the time, but it would look dated today. That being said, it has a lot of good. It's very well cast, but I don't think they use their actors effectively. Um, like Ray was saying, Kaylee Fleming was amazing in this movie. She really carried it. She's for a young actress, she's very talented. This is the first thing I've seen her in, or actually, no. While I was researching this, I found out she played the young Rey in Force Awakens, but we see her for like 10 seconds in that movie. And I only
Totally
watched a
forgot
few
that.
episodes. And I only watched a few episodes of Walking Dead here and there, and I don't remember her at all from that.
She was on the later seasons. That's why she was
Oh,
like,
okay.
I think she arrived like season 9 or 10.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't see it because I only watched maybe first 2 3 seasons. Um, and as is common now with animated type movies, it's star-studded, packed with a bunch of celebrities, but it's more like a game of guess the voice actor. Um, and again, I thought a lot of them were just underused and not used effectively. Anybody could have done the voices. Um, Steve Carell, though, as always, he's good. He's really good at that type of role. Um, Louis Gossett Jr. I was actually surprised to see his name in the credits because I had not seen him in anything in a long time, and I thought he was dead. Well, I discovered that yes, he is dead, but he died a lot more recently than I thought. I thought he had died years ago, but he died earlier this year in March, I believe. And he was okay in the role. Um, yeah, John Krasinski's character in the movie almost pointless, honestly. um, I think they could have cut him out completely and just said, they could have just said, her dad's in the hospital. Fiona Shaw was good. Um, I didn't get her. I didn't really understand her accent. I don't know if she was trying to do like a New York accent or if she was speaking with her natural Irish accent. I'm not sure. Because it's hard to tell because unlike what Hollywood would have us believe, not every Irish person sounds like the Lucky Charms leprechaun. Top of the morning to you. They don't all talk like that. So I'm not sure about that. If she was going for a New York accent, I mean, I'm not American, but to me it just didn't sound right. And also, as is common in movies today, everything was tinted blue or orange, and I hate that. That seems to be the only two color temperatures they know how to use in Hollywood now. I don't know if it's a byproduct of everything being shot digitally. I don't know.
Is the
Um,
formula if this formula works, so I'll put studio use this
mhm,
formula for the movie. It's sad, but
yeah.
it is.
Um, I I don't know if it's because I wasn't really paying attention much or what, but I did not see that coming. The plot twist that Cal was he was an if himself. Um,
Oh,
maybe some
you do
people
look
saw it.
back on it like any time,
Mm,
like they're on a bus, they're
mhm.
talking, everyone around them has headphones
I-
for some
yeah,
reason.
exactly. In retrospect, it's obvious, but I didn't see it coming. Some people probably saw it coming a mile away, but I didn't. And I do agree with you. That's sort of reminiscent of a particular film starring Bruce Willis. um, but yeah, it was an okay movie. I don't really have much else to say.
Okay, well, um, That was very interesting. Thank you for sharing. Now, guys were like, I think that was in the intro
Sorry,
or
sorry. There's just one thing I saw in my notes that I forgot
oh
to mention.
yeah.
One thing I thought was well done though is the scene where Blue goes back to see the adult version of the kid that he was the F for. When he's, the guy's about to go into the boardroom and he puts his hands on him to sort of give him the confidence. We see like the shot. It's very subtle, but we see the shot in the mirror where we see the kid version of that person, and I thought that was actually well done. That was something that was good.
For sure. That
Okay.
was a really fun shot with that
Mhm.
reflection reveal of,
Mhm.
kind of his inner feelings, if you will.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really
Yeah.
liked all of those where kind of the former if was meeting their, former
Yeah.
creator or whatever.
Yeah, this is the only movie of John Krasinski's that I've seen. I only know him from The Office, like a lot of people. I have not seen any of the Quiet Place movies. I do want to see them because I've heard good things, but as of yet, I have not seen them. I think he's maybe a director that has a lot of potential. I can only judge him off this movie because I haven't seen the others, but I think I don't know the story behind the making of this, if maybe they were rushed for time or whatever, but I thought this movie could have been better if they had put more effort into it and maybe refined the script. Because Grace said it felt almost as if there was like 3 movies going on. Like they had a. That's why I felt it's almost as if they took like the first draft of this movie.
I kind of get a feeling like that too. I kind of wish they brought somebody else in to kind of like once over it, maybe
Yeah.
do like another draft, like you're saying.
Hmm.
So not to spoil his other ones. So he did A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2. Because he did those and they were so successful, the studio basically gave him carte blanche. Like you could do whatever you want. So this
Okay.
is what he did. So he had a lot of control on this one. And, maybe some people work better with some restriction or some oversight.
Yeah.
Depend time to time, but
Yeah. So sometimes you need someone to rein you in.
like Zack Snyder recently when this Rebel Moon project, when Netflix he give him all in, and the result is not as phenomenal as supposed to be, but
The result.
the
The
result,
result.
Yeah. Probably the most famous example is George Lucas was a much better filmmaker when people could still say no to him.
yeah.
True.
When you
And
hear about a lot of the original ideas he had for Star Wars, and people told him, "No, you do this instead."
It's funny. It's funny because Josh Clooney is tired to Josh Lucas is tired to direct movie because Star Wars. For him, it was a big task to do. The prequel was very hard to make, and he says in the interview one day he not have fun to make movie anymore. You just want to project and create a script for movie. You don't want to direct
No,
movie anymore.
he just writes movies as an
Uh,
excuse to be able to sell toys.
yeah. He not want to do a movie anymore. He is tired about this. He's sad because he has a unique vision about the cinema and past. He creates Star Wars.
Yeah, no, he's a guy who has a lot of great ideas, but he needs help. He needs help refining those ideas. And
Yeah.
with the prequels, well, because now he was the George Lucas, nobody was willing to say no to him, and he probably got rid of anybody who told him no a long time ago.
Well, there is that famous quote too from like the kind of behind the scenes on that where he's like, "I fear I might have gone too far."
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He says like, I think I've gone it too far in a few places.
But kind of getting back to if, I don't think any of us talked about the budget on this. So it is actually a pretty high budget for what it is. So it's 110 million is the estimate, and then it opened to like 33, so it opened somewhat strong, but worldwide it was able to make 190 million, which sounds pretty good. But Variety estimates that it would need 275 million worldwide to break even, and it only got 190, so it does not appear to have been too successful. So I'm not sure if we're going to get like an if 2, if this world will be kind of fleshed out further.
It's the first fail for the director, but he tries something, and for that he need to be to be saluted for that. But yeah, it's sad this movie failed because it's a family movie. You have all the ingredients to please the this public, and yeah, it's sad. But I'm happy to see this movie. And I want to say something about want to say earlier. You talk about the foster home for imaginary friend, and the Wikipedia it says several critics noted the film sharing some similarity with the Cartoon Network animated series, which itself featured an orphanage that care of imaginary friend after the kid outgrow them and they leave after other children adopt them. So basically the plot is the same, but not
Yeah.
animated is put in real world. So but you're not crazy about that.
And it's funny because after you brought the picture early in the show, I was like, I remember actually seeing that show on TV, but again, that was like 2 years after it started because we always get stuff after you guys because it needs to be translated. But yeah, I'm wondering if guys have anything else to add on like the production or any other aspect outside of the movie itself, because I think Matt or Gray pointed something out that the surrounding thing are more interesting than the movie itself.
I say that about the director John Krasinski. Like I say, he's new in the kind of thing. He do two movie before in the horror type, and now he do a family movie. So it's interesting to talk about that because he changed the resistor. Maybe it's not the good resistor for him. Maybe we'll see in the future when he does more project. But like I say, I want to see more about him. He have talent to direct the movie, so I want to see more. And he's a good actor. Many people know him for The Office, but he does many movie, and he have the Ryan. What the name of the show? Give me a second. Jack Ryan TV show on
Mhm.
Amazon. Very good trailer series. If you not see the go to see this the TV show is great indeed. But yeah, I want to see more about it. I want to add little something about the movie. It's about the one actress is Fiona Shaw. Superbald talk about her when he talk about the movie. For me, I remember always remember this actress for Harry Potter, the Harry Potter movie. She played the aunt of Harry Potter. And
Yes.
when I
Mhm.
see her in other project, I remember always this role on Harry Potter. So it's funny for me to see this actress in other thing. And like in this movie or in the under Star Wars TV show or Killing Eve TV show, it's always a pleasure to see the actress play other than a bad aunt in the movie. So this time she play a grandmother, and the other time she play a spy and etc. etc. So for me, it's funny to follow this actress in other project because I am big, huge fan of Harry Potter. So when I see another actor from this franchise in other movie, it's a plus for me.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people in this movie. She was underused. She's a talented actress that was
Yeah,
underused.
but
Mhm.
she give many emotion. She's an old grandmother,
Mhm.
try to help Bia, but not enough. And she have a nostalgia back in time when she had the dancing. So I like this character for that, and I'm happy to see a good character for her because many people remember just her for the role of the bad aunt of Harry Potter in the franchise. So yeah.
Well, thank you a lot for sharing. I am wondering if any of you would like to add more before we move on to the conclusion of the movie and the review.
Sure, just a stupid little comment. Yeah, I think this is going to be like the ultimate trivia movie. Like, if you start listing off the cast from like bottom to top, there's no way that anybody is going to get this. But it's like, okay, it stars Jon Stewart, Amy Schumer, Maya Rudolph. Like, you just keep going up, and like they're all like awesome stars, but there's no way that anyone's going to put this together. I think this is going to be like the ultimate trivia movie as to it's a live action.
Yeah, it's going to be a Jeopardy question at some point,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, just man.
or rather a Jeopardy
It might have legs
answer.
that way.
For 100 point, if George Clooney is in this movie, yes or not?
Yeah, it might be easier to list who's not in it.
I correct myself though; it's a Jeopardy answer because that's how that show works. They give you the answer, and you
that's true.
give the question. You have to answer in the form of a question.
Okay, well, I will ask Gray first. What would be your grade out of 10 for If?
You know, it's not bad. I think I'd go like a 6 out of 10. There's nothing in there that I would say like this shouldn't be seen. It apparently really does pull at a lot of people's heartstrings. That's awesome. You know, if this is like somebody's introduction to, you know, those type of movies, maybe they're in Maltese boat where they don't want to go back and actually see kind of the source material. Fine. I think this would be great at that. So yeah, I think I'd go somewhere around a 6 for it. It's definitely okay.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. What about you, Matt? What would be your grade out of 10?
Like I said earlier, this is a good movie. It's not extraordinary, not memorable, but the concept is interesting and the actor is funny. It's interesting to follow. Kelly Fleming is a young, talented actress. I think she will be great thing in the future. I want to see her in more movie. And I'm happy to see, like I said, Fiona Shaw in this movie. And Ryan Reynolds is like always charming and funny, but very classical in this movie. It's like the thing with this actor for the past few years, he does the same role again and again and again. It's a little sad to see him like that, but he's good at it, so it's okay. And for a family movie, all ingredients here to pass a good moment. So for that, I give a 6 out of 10 for this movie. Family deserve to see this movie, and I'm happy to see this movie. But I'm a little disappointed. I think I wish this movie would be better. I feel like he missed some piece to complete the puzzle of this movie. But yeah, other than that, I give a 6 out of 10.
Okay, well, I will ask Superbald, what would be your grade out of 10?
It would be a 6. Not a bad movie, as I said. You know, it's an okay movie, and like I said earlier, undercooked. If they had maybe put more effort into the script to refine it, you know, flesh out the ideas more, I think it would have been a much better movie.
Okay, well, I am the crazy one again.
I like always.
Oh, we're used to that.
I will ask the panel for once before I reveal it. What's your guess on my grade, Gray? Gray?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. I was just talking to myself. So I believe you said you had 2 issues on it. So let's see, each issue is 0.3. So what's it, 9.4 now or something like that, according to your scale?
What about you, Matt? What do you think is my score?
Just for the gag, I would say you give a better score than Tremor just to Angry Gray. So like 9 of 10, 9.9 of 10.
Oh,
So if I remember correctly, last week you gave 9.7 to Trevor, so you'll give it a 9.8 this week.
I like Matt and Superbald thought process, but because I am consistent, Gray is closer. It's a 9.5. But I was more entertained by
Plot
this
twist.
than Trimmer.
Like Tremor is here, and just above you have If. So
Yeah,
I like this movie better, so I'll give it a worse grade.
it's a worse movie. It's not as good, but I liked it more. It's like the Godfather tree. It's the worst of the tree, but that's my favorite. So yeah, I enjoyed watching even if I'm alone, even if I'm crazy, I will stand by it. So the new segment now starts, and I will ask Gray, what are you up to? What are you watching? Well, what have you seen since last Tuesday, and what do you plan on watching before next Tuesday?
So I ended up seeing Heretic and then a bunch of flicks on Shutter. I think I'm blanking on all of them. They're all from this year. Destroy All Neighbors and Black Cab, which is a Nick Frost movie, and then there is another one from Nick Frost called like Crazy House. Yeah, I don't know. Heretic was really good. Go see that. You might hate it. It's also going to be very polarizing. There's a lot of reasons why people wouldn't like it. It kind of is an attempt at religious horror without having like demons or anything like that. So yeah, it could be very polarizing for some. Performances are really awesome in it. I would highly recommend seeing it if the subject matter wouldn't offend you, I guess. Yeah, good times. Still want to see small things like these. Didn't get a chance to see it. Was able to see Red One. It is horrible, and I think it's just going to bomb. But yeah, good luck with that. And yeah, I might get a chance to see Gladiator 2 at a sneak preview soon. So trying to see that. But that's about all I got going on. What about you, Multi? What you looking at?
Before we go to me, because unfortunately we can't have you on Thursday because you got other stuff going on. I'll ask you: did you feel like Heretic was anti-religion?
I mean, you could definitely interpret it that way. To me, it seemed more like belief. Like it's just kind of the concept of belief, non-belief. So I don't know. You could definitely take it that way, but it seems like there is almost a religion being pushed by the one who seems to be anti-religion. So I'm not sure how anti-religion it was. That's not the message I took away from it. But what I really love about it is it's very ambiguous. It's very open to your interpretation. It's what you bring to it. To a lot of people, that's going to piss them off. But that's one of the things that I really like about movies. It's really challenging. So big fan.
And before we go on to me, I will ask you another thing about Heretic because I adore this thing. So Heretic, it's horror, and I know you've seen a lot of movies. Is it like placed in your top 5 or 10 of horror for this year, or not even close?
It's definitely in the top 10. I think it might be in the top 5, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a polarizing movie. It was kind of sold to me as it was like an anti-Mormon movie, and man, if it was supposed to be that, it failed hardcore because there's so many ways that you could like go after that particular denomination. It doesn't feel like they're really trying to. The only thing they bring up is really polygamy, which was what, like 200 years ago outlawed. So I don't know. It really doesn't feel like it's that, but yeah, man, I think it would be. If it's not in top 5, it's really close to being there for me.
And
Hugh Grant is just amazing in this performance, and the two girls in it are just amazing as well. I'm forgetting their name off the top of my head.
Sophie Thatcher and Chloe Heast.
and
Thank you.
to close off on you there, what would be your grade out of 10 for Heretic?
Yeah, I guess I have it as a 4.5 on Letterboxd, so I guess that would be a 9. I think it's just really
9,
amazing
okay.
performances.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you a lot for sharing. Do you want to add more?
Sorry.
No, good times.
Well, I guess because you passed on the mic to me, it's my go. So last week, I did end up seeing X again for a second time, and I will admit I liked it a lot more than the first time. I also ended up watching Pearl. I liked
When you
it, and
say
now
X, do you mean like the Malcolm movie X that came out like 30 years ago?
no, the more recent
There's
one
a
with
Thai
Zendaya
West
Goat.
horror film.
Yeah,
The
just
Zendaya
trilogy,
Goat.
the Thai
Okay.
West trilogy.
Okay, I'd never
Yeah.
heard of it. Okay.
And
It's kind of fun. It's a throwback, kind of like a Texas Chainsaw type. A bunch of kids in a van are going to
Yeah.
go make a porno at a farm that doesn't have the best owners. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
That's for the first movie. Yeah.
But I ended up being surprised by X and by Pearl. Pearl, I liked it, and now I'm hyped. Like this week, I plan on watching McScene. I also realized.
Calm down your expectation about Maxine.
Oh, okay, okay. Outside of that, I will be catching up on TV shows because I realized I came too late for I get that all along, so I have like 5 other episodes to see. I want to see the Penguin, and I realized the show just ended this season, like this week, and Superman and Lois as well. So this week it will be more like TV shows than movies. But again, Maxine is on my watch list, and there's also Conclave, a thriller about the next pope or something like that because someone died at the Vatican or something like that. That sounds intriguing.
I want to see this movie either. Yeah.
Yeah, and Friday, maybe I will go at the theater with someone.
Maybe.
Maybe,
We look
maybe
at it.
we will see. So yeah, I'm very hyped about coming releases. Gladiator is coming soon. Not this week, next week. Outside of that, that's pretty much it for my viewing, what I'm watching. And I will ask Superbald, what did you watch in the last few days, and what do you plan on watching in the next few days?
I had a very, very busy week, so I didn't have time to watch anything. I really wanted to watch Bone Tomahawk because you guys and a lot of things I read about it make it sound like it's very good. So I really want to watch that. So that's probably what I will watch in the next few days if I can find the time. But I got a lot going on right now. I'm not getting into any details, but I got a lot going on and I'm quite busy. And that's one of the reasons I had to join from my car earlier. Um, but yeah, that's about the only thing I plan on watching, and the movie that we'll be watching for next week's
Snatch.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, Snatch.
Those are the only two, excuse me, two things I plan on watching. But if I can find time to watch something else, I definitely will.
Perfect. I saw the TV Glow. Highly recommend.
Okay.
I plan on
I'll
watching
add it.
that
I'll
one again.
add it to the list.
I
if I
plan
can
on
find the
watching it
time.
again. I plan on watching it again. I don't know when, but eventually. Do you plan on watching anything else?
And I wish I had the time, but no.
Perfect. Super Bowl. Matt.
Yeah, so me, I look, listen, I see many things. I will try to be the fast I can be. I don't want to talk for 1 hour. So yeah, I finished two TV show. I finished The Penguin. It is a spin-off about the Batman movie. Between the first Batman and the second we have in the 2 year. So we follow the creation of the Penguin. Is a famous villain of the universe of Batman. The TV show is phenomenal to follow. Colin Farrell is very exceptional in this character, and Christine, sorry, I want to talk about the actress. The name is Christine Miluti. She plays Sofia Falcone, and she's a revelation is the TV show. She's like the other side of the Penguin. The Penguin fight this woman, and vice versa. And man, that the storytelling the TV show is phenomenal. See, if that is you need to see this TV show. Simple in that. And the other TV show I finished this week is Paris Has Fallen. Is a French-British TV show. Is a spin-off about the Fallen trilogy with Gerard Butler. You have two movies. I not see this movie. It's not my kind of thing. But I want to see this TV show because it's a action TV show in Paris. And it's a good show. And the VO version, you have a character speak French and English, so it's immersive for that. I like this little touch about this TV show. And for movie, I see Heretic. We'll talk about this in the other episode. For me, it's a okay horror movie, and Hugh Grant is super is great in that. I don't see him in the horror movie, but he worked great. So yeah, I see a Canadian movie, My Old Ass. I recommend to see this movie. Is one of the best Canadian movie of the year with Aubrey Plaza. Is a movie about age coming. The movie set in the Toronto with a young character see this older version of himself and talk about the future. And she said, "Don't talk with this man. He changed your life." And she tried to not talk, but young people are not the maturity to understand some stuff. So she do something, and the story is very emotional. I really like it. I see the Irish movie, the Hot One, the new movie with the Sarah Ronan. I'm not sure this name is pronounced like that, but she.
Saoirse, I think.
Yes,
I
thank you.
think.
She is a phenomenal actress, and this movie she is very great. It's a movie about the memoir of the some woman. She have a problem with the alcohol, and she try to fight this demon. She go back in little alone in Ireland, and it's a good story. And the last thing I want to talk, I start to see the foreign Superman movie back in the 17 with the Christopher Reeve. I never see this movie, so I watched the first this past weekend. Is sure the movie is old. It's like a 15 year, but it's work great today. I really like this first movie. I want to see the other. I know the first one is Nana is a bad movie, but for the purpose of my my cinephile, I want to see all this movie, and I do that before the new DC universe come with the new Superman with James Gunn directed this new the next Superman after Zack Snyder, Brian Singer, and Richard Donner for the first movie. So it's a challenge for me to see this movie for be ready to the new DC universe. So yeah, it's all for me. Sorry for the long talk.
That's
All right.
fine. That's the point of that segment. Just sharing what we want to see and the movies we are excited about. So I guess now is the time we close this stream. Matt, what do you have going on your end of the internet?
Like always, like I say, I write critic about what I see, so I do that, but in French, not for your the end. Other than that, I see movie, TV show, I work, so I am a banal life, but I like my life. So yeah, it's all.
I feel you. I feel you, man. Superbald, what do you have going on your end of the internet?
No change. Same as always. Just this podcast.
He's a busy man.
Yeah,
Things happen.
I wish I wasn't busy, but I feel like I'm not getting anywhere.
That's sad.
Got a lot of that going on too.
Yeah.
What about you, Gray?
Yeah. Thursdays, the Thinkers on that darn kiddos channel. It's people from like 3 different continents getting together, disagreeing about everything. This Thursday, we're talking about food, I guess diet or something. So, yeah, I'm sure people from a bunch of different countries are all going to disagree about that. So that'll be great. Yeah, come by that darn kiddos channel, YouTube at that darn kidda, Thursday mornings. Fun times. Yeah, that's about all I got going on. What about you, Multi? What you got going on, sir?
Thursday, we talk Heretic, and as of right now, I think it will only be Matt and myself. There's a possibility, maybe, that we will get Hot Grape on as well, because the guy is from that Mormon church, or I don't know, but the maybe factor is the guy maybe won't have the time to watch movies, so he won't be able to make it, but hopefully it will be available. Hopefully we'll have enough time to watch it. And maybe we will have other people, because I will send a link to many others. And maybe it will just be Matt and I, which will still be very fun and entertaining, because I liked Heretic a lot.
Like all movie you see.
No, Tremor, I wasn't a fan. That was a good movie. That was
More, you're
solid,
not a
but
fan. You gave 9.7 of 10, man.
I hated Madame Web. Dude, my worst 15-ish of this year were terrible, and I hated basketball, but I don't think you were there when we had that basketball review. But
No.
that movie, man, I hated that thing. So yeah, outside of that, gaming next weekend, I will be playing Ghost Recon, Thunderstorm, I believe. I can't Jungle Storm or Jungle Thunder something. One of the old DLC of the OG Ghost Recons. Um, outside of that, next Tuesday we talk about Snatch, and I got a few movies reviews project. Don't Move will come out tomorrow, and Thursday I don't know if I will be uploading because I will be streaming, but Friday maybe I will be uploading something, I don't know yet. Movie reviews, because I did see lots of movies this year. Not as much as great, but still, I'm proud of my 69 numbers as of right now. So that's it. Thank you guys.
This
As
is the
usual.
end.
Yeah, as usual. I had a blast.
Same here.
That was fun.
Yeah, that
And
was
we
fun.
are out.